Mr. Williams' counsel has announced in open court that he will call the three offenders, he called them offenders, sheesh, at trial. Judge Glanville's, Lawyer Love's, and Lawyer Hilton's name appear on Mr. Williams, our Young Thug's filed 8 amended list of witnesses. The June 10th Star Chamber meeting between Judge Glanville and lawyers Love and Hilton undermined the public's faith in the integrity of the justice system as it conceals from the public Young Thug, his lawyers, and others facing the removal of their liberty critical information about the lawfulness and reality of how they are being prosecuted. And we talked about this before as well. How can you, who wants to be in this type of justice system that we're seeing on display? It's not a great look. This injustice must end today. The trial is wholly broken and cannot ever be repaired based solely upon the improper conduct of Judge Glanville, Lawyer Love, and Lawyer Hilton. Any motion for mistrial made by Young Thug is based exclusively upon the improper actions of the supposed judge and the state actors. Good Lord. Woo. Judge Glanville at the Star Chamber ex parte meeting provided legal advice and direction to attorney Bumpus about how to speak with her client. Where was that at? What? Lil Woody. He said Judge Glanville at the ex parte meeting provided legal advice and direction to Ms. Bumpus about how to speak with her client. I don't remember seeing that in the transcripts. I'm trying to think back. I don't remember seeing a point to where Judge Glanville said, hey, why don't you tell him or explain to him this? Or can you show him or tell him this? Judge Glanville was actually pretty quiet throughout most of this meeting based on what we saw in the transcript. There was parts at the end when they were going back and forth and talking about perjuring and perjury. And Judge Glanville kind of injected himself into the conversation at that point. But yeah, I don't know what Brian's referring to here, so maybe I missed something. Dispensing legal advice creates a clear appearance of impartiality, which is a proper ground for granting of this motion to recuse under our Code of Judicial Conduct and constitutional violation of due process. Yeah, can't be doing that, Judge. Mr. Williams' constitutional right to due process has been violated because not only is there an appearance of impartiality, but there is actual bias, as Judge Glanville has been embroiled in this trial and is assisting the prosecution to attempt to gain a conviction of Young Thug. It is impossible for any reasonable person to believe that Judge Glanville is neutral. I mean, I agree 1000%. We've looked at the documents. We've seen the trial. We've watched Judge Glanville. We've heard what he said. We've reviewed the transcripts, and Brian is 1000% correct. Any reasonable person that says that will look at this would not say that Judge Glanville is biased. I mean, he's 100% biased, and it shows. It shows. Mixed Chick Samantha says, He said the explanation, he had to explain the immunity agreement. Yeah, but is that, let me see. Is that Judge Glanville providing legal advice and directing Miss Bumpus? Him explaining the immunity agreement? I guess I could kind of see it from a legal standpoint. I can't say for sure, but me just looking at it, it seems like it would be kind of a gray area, but I guess we could let that point go. But I could kind of see how that would be him consulting Little Woody and say, here, this is what that means. This is what this means. But yeah, that's a good point. He says, is it possible for any reasonable It is impossible for any reasonable person to believe that Judge Glanville is neutral. Judge Glanville must be removed based upon the one ex parte communication that has come to light thus far. He's saying there's more, man. Judge Glanville's Lawyer Love and Hilton have infected the process of Young Thug's trial and have illegally Poison, same, forever. Judge Glanville had the ethical duty to recuse himself sua sponte once he had the ex parte communications, which is it's looking like that's true. However, neither Judge Glanville, Lawyer Love, nor Lawyer Hilton uttered a word that they spent the morning of June 10th leaning on Lil Woody to testify for the prosecution against Young Thug, coaching attorney Bumpus on what and how to sell to Lil Woody the proposition to cause him to testify at trial against Young Thug, coaching Lil Woody on how to deliver his testimony. Oh, that is true. That is true. They definitely did that. And promising Lil Woody that he would not be prosecuted even if he perjured testimony unless he told a bold-faced whopper. Y'all remember we talked about that in the last video. Judge Glanville showing his age by saying, hey, listen, unless you tell a bold-faced whopper, you're going to be fine. So yeah, I got to take it back. I got to take it back because Judge Glanville was in that secret meeting based on the transcript telling Lil Woody, oh yeah, this is how everything's going to go. Here's what you can do and it'll be fine. Is that him giving legal? I guess that would be, because Lil Woody perjuring himself is a big deal. I mean, Brian is killing this. I want to read through this one more time because I know I interrupted or I stopped in here a lot. However, neither Judge Glanville, Lawyer Love, nor Lawyer Hilton uttered a word that they spent the morning of June 10th leaning on Lil Woody to testify for the prosecution against Young Thug, coaching attorney Bumpus on what and how to sell Lil Woody the proposition to cause him to testify at trial against Young Thug, coaching Lil Woody on how to deliver his testimony, and promising Lil Woody that he would not be prosecuted even for perjured testimony unless he told a bold-faced whopper or a lie. And we saw that in the transcript, which is what they're citing here. These public officials heard and failed to reveal that Lil Woody confessed to committing every indicated offense in this case. Y'all remember in the transcripts when they were getting close to the end of the meeting and Lil Woody said, I committed these crimes. And it was one thing that was weird. There was a weird little jump at that point to where it seemed like ADA Hilton was kind of ignoring what he said when he said, I committed these crimes. Kayla didn't know what to say because she was kind of like, what are you talking about? I committed these crimes. So this is what they're referring to here in Exhibit B. I'm sure if we would scroll down, we would see that. Even non-lawyers can see that Judge Glanville, Lawyer Love, and Lawyer Hilton are not acting in an ethical manner, are on the same prosecutorial team, and that Judge Glanville should not be rewarded with the opportunity to continue to preside as judge over Young Thug's jury trial. In reality, Judge Glanville, Lawyer Love, and Lawyer Hilton have made themselves witnesses whom Young Thug counsel will call. These three lawyers must be recused and removed from this case. Dang, he called Judge Glanville a lawyer. Oh my gosh. All right. And what's the note here when he's talking about Ms. Hilton made themselves witnesses to Young Thug's counsel so that Young Thug's counsel can call them. He's saying that Mr. Williams' counsel has announced in open court that he will call the three offenders. He called them offenders. Sheesh. At trial. Judge Glanville's, Lawyer Love's, and Lawyer Hilton's name appear on Mr. Williams, our Young Thug's, filed 8 amended list of witnesses. Yeah, because of this whole meeting, they messed that whole thing up. It is important to note that Judge Glanville originally denied Young Thug's request for access to the June 10th ex parte hearing transcripts, and we all believe that they're not even complete because it seems like there's a lot of pieces missing from that transcript. Keeping the context of the record totally hidden by Lawyer Love, Lawyer Hilton, and Judge Glanville. Fortunately, mounting pressure related to Judge Glanville's gross misconduct, violation of his oath of office, ethical violations, and potential criminal conduct by Lawyer Love, Lawyer Hilton, and Judge Glanville worked to affect change. And we talked about this whole situation that went on as well, especially when it comes to them keeping the contents of the record totally hidden by Lawyer Love. Y'all remember what happened is the writ of mandamus was sent to the Georgia Supreme Court by Yak Gotti's lawyer, Mr. Weinstein. He sent that and said, hey, y'all, I want to recuse this judge, but I'm going to go through the process and he's not going to hear anything that I say. And it might be even be sent to another judge and they're not going to hear what I'm going to say. So he was the first one, Attorney Weinstein was the first one to say, I want everybody in Fulton County off of this case because anything I try and do, we're going to have an issue with. Right. And the judge isn't even letting us get the full transcript. So then it went to the Supreme Court. They said, OK, we're going to deny this writ of mandamus. You're going to have to go back through the process. But Judge Glanville, you're not going to be able to rule in this case and you need to give them the full transcripts, which is allegedly what we have. But y'all have seen we went through the transcripts and it seems like there's a lot of information missing in there, too. Wow. It is important to note that Judge Glanville originally denied Young Thug's request for the June 10th ex parte hearing transcripts, keeping contents of the record totally hidden. OK, and we already went through that. On Monday, June 17th, Judge Glanville denied undersigned counsel's motion to recuse and went forward with the trial of this case. Similarly, Judge Glanville denied Honorable Douglas Weinstein. We just talked about this motion to recuse on June 12th. Judge Glanville then continued to unlawfully preside over Young Thug's jury trial. Judge Glanville must be removed as he has proven to have actual bias as well as the appearance of bias. It's not looking great, Glanville, at all. Undersigned counsel has never been afforded the questions that lawyer Hilton or lawyer Love created and gave Lil Woody. What questions are those? Undersigned counsel has never been given this list of questions, even though Judge Glanville has been made aware of these questions and has encouraged Miss Bumpus, our attorney Bumpus, and Lil Woody to review and understand these questions. See Exhibit B attached here too. Okay, in the transcript. Interesting. We'll have to go through and look at that as well. The question must be asked why Judge Glanville has ex parte access to lawyer Hilton and lawyer Love's questions for a witness. This conduct is beyond repair. Yeah, it does sound like he's a part of their team. I mean, to be honest, Judge Glanville, lawyer Hilton, and lawyer Love did not give a hint that they were meeting ex parte with witness Lil Woody on the morning of June 10th or at any time. Undersigned counsel had no idea that Judge Glanville, lawyer Love, lawyer Hilton would dodge the law and ethical rules to conduct this improper and unethical ex parte conference. I mean, he's just pouring on here, man. Judge Glanville and lawyers Love and Hilton were duty bound to immediately announce Mr. Williams, his counsel, and all accused and their counsel that this ex parte meeting occurred. Brady and Giglio evidence was obtained and the transcript was made and allowed argument to flow. Instead, their cover up equals their misdeeds. All right. And then they go back to the video that we just watched earlier. Judge Glanville, lawyers Love and Hilton, acting in concert, hid Brady evidence and attempted to normalize this unconstitutional star chamber meeting, unethical conduct, and witnesses intimidation by deflecting the focus on how undersigned counsel learned of the secret proceedings. Y'all remember Judge Glanville blew up at Brian Steele when he asked him about the meeting and was like, hey, you're not supposed to know about this meeting. How did you find out about this meeting? I'm holding you in contempt. And I'm going to lock you up for the next 20 weekends. And Brian Steele said, no, you're not. He went to the Superior Court and actually onto the Supreme Court, if I remember right. And they said, no, you can't. We're not doing that, Glanville. Sorry, Brian, you're good to go. We're going to hold off on that for now. Judge Glanville has undersigned counsel in contempt of court. The misconduct by Judge Glanville, lawyer Love, and lawyer Hilton determines we should call them the big three. We should just call them the big three whenever they're mentioned like this. Because, man, they're taking all kinds of shots here from Brian. Undermines trust in judges and prosecutors, cannot stand and cannot be rewarded. Action must occur in order to attempt to remove the dark cloud over Young Thug's trial and the criminal justice system at large. The code of the conduct of the big three can never be forgotten, normalized, or ratified. Yep. The Georgia courts have always safeguarded and separated prosecutors and their duties from judges and their duties. Here, there is no daylight between the big three's improper and unethical conduct. All must be removed from Young Thug's case, and they point out why they should be, and they've got the case reference here. As stated herein, Young Thug intends to call Judge Glanville as a witness at the trial, as well as this recusal motion's evidentiary hearing based upon the improper conduct and the need to make further records to protect Young Thug's constitutional rights. Specifically, they appear to be communications that not captured on the transcript of June 10th. The ex parte meeting. Yeah, which again, there was still a lot missing from that meeting. And I wonder if they're going to be truthful, because we already saw when Lil Woody went live with Kayla on her, when he went live with Kayla on her YouTube channel, and she asked him, she said, Lil Woody, is the transcript complete? He said, you were there. You know what happened. That is not complete. That's not what went down. Judge Glanville is a necessary witness in Young Thug's trial, and his name will be used when undersigned counsel cross-examines Lil Woody when asking questions 1. Whether Judge Glanville pressured Lil Woody to testify. 2. Whether Lil Woody realized Judge Glanville was allowing wrong propositions of the law to be explained to him. We talked about this as well when ADA Hilton said, oh, you're fine, unless there's some independent evidence that comes out, you can say whatever you want to, and even if you lie on the stand, I'm not going to prosecute you. So you could lie. If you lie, it's fine. It's not a big deal. The only thing is you can't say that you committed a murder. You can't say you killed Big Nut. That wasn't in this transcript, but that is something that has been said and has been heard. That was said in the transcripts, but we're not going to get that verified until this is over. And 3, the fact that Judge Glanville condoned Lil Woody lying under oath unless it was a bold-faced whopper. Sheesh. So he pressured Lil Woody to testify. He also, there was no one from the defense there to make sure that Lil Woody was being explained or told the correct thing. And then the third thing was he told Lil Woody he could lie unless it was a bold-faced whopper. And you even remember ADA Hilton, she said, well, what you remember is what you remember. So if you said in the past in a video that you always thought the sky was blue and you think the sky is blue, and then when you get on the stand and you say, well, I was lying, the sky is red, then I'm going to do my job and I'm going to say, okay, well, back here you said it was blue. Why did you say that? But you can still, whatever you remember, you remember. And whatever you don't recall, you can just say, I don't recall, right? This mandates that Judge Glanville not be in the courtroom in front of Young Thug's jury ever again as a judge. Good Lord. Judges must be disqualified in proceedings in which their impartiality may be reasonably questioned, which we are more than reasonably questioning this, including but not limited to instances where the judge is likely to be a material witness in the proceedings. And y'all have to remember, all this information that we have, the jury hasn't even seen. The only thing, well, allegedly. If any of the jury members are watching this live stream, salute and shout out to y'all. Are you watching this video? But allegedly, they haven't seen any of this information that we know. So for all the jury knows is everything is cool. And there's just been a delay because people are trying to attack Judge Glanville. They haven't seen the transcripts. They didn't see everything that took place with the back and forth between Brian. They didn't see when Brian got held in contempt. So, I mean, this is a lot of stuff that's technically behind the scenes from even the jury. So we've got access to a lot of information that isn't known by the people who were even in the courtroom, which is kind of crazy. Judges must be disqualified from proceeding in which their impartiality may be reasonably questioned, including but not limited to instances where the judge is likely to be a material witness in the proceedings. Yeah, how can he rule on something when he's going to be brought as a witness. When Lil Woody says, yeah, there was this man in there and he was trying to convince me to testify. I didn't want to testify. Brian Steele says, who is that man? He turns around, looks at the judge. He said, it's him right up there. What are they going to do? Oh, man. Grounds for recusal are contained in, y'all can see, OCGA 15-1-8, as well as the Georgia Code of Conduct or Code of Judicial Conduct. Further, the judge should be disqualified for bias against a party if such bias stems from an extrajudicial source and results in an opinion on the merits on some basis other than what the judge learned from his participation in the case. Basically, an ex parte meeting. If in an ex parte meeting, you're biased. The alleged bias of the judge must be of such nature and intensity to prevent Young Thug from attaining a trial uninfluenced by the judge's bias. In the case at bar, it is impossible to honestly find that Judge Glanville is an impartial, fair jurist. Recusal is mandated. Under Rule 2.11 of the Code of Judicial Conduct, a judge must avoid all impropriety as well as the appearance of impropriety. Yeah, so basically Brian's just piling on here and showing that judge should not be on this case, but we're going to go through it regardless because this is some crazy stuff. Judges shall disqualify themselves in proceedings in which their impartiality might reasonably be questioned. The fact that Judge Glanville's impartiality might be reasonably questioned is grounds to mandate that he is removed from this case. I mean, there's so many cases that he's citing here to where these judges were removed. And you even look at Miss Peterson's case. I mean, Judge Glanville's looking just as reckless, if not more reckless than she is. This rule provides any additional rule of disqualification that is broader than our statute. Here, under any definition and any rule, Judge Glanville must be removed from the position of judge. In fact, commentary 2, okay, we go there, and it says, it explains that judges are subject to disqualification whenever their impartiality might be reasonably questioned. Judges should disclose on the record information that the court believes the parties or their lawyers might consider relevant to question of disqualification, even if the judge believes there is no legal basis for disqualification. So who gets to decide whether their impartiality is reasonably questioned? Is that the judge who is assigned to this? So is Judge Krause going to be the one who decides that? And then if she denies it, will they have to go to the then Supreme Court to try and get him removed again? I don't know. Mr. Tesla said Judge's going to be like, man, F the big three. It's just big me. Well, it's about to be all three of them on the chopping block, man. Shout out to the big three. Impartiality might reasonably be questioned means a reasonable perception of the lack of impartiality by the judge held by a fair-minded and impartial person based upon objective fact or reasonable reference. We've got enough information to see that this judge is biased. We don't even need to go through all that. Recusal on this ground requires a rational basis for such questioning, not an arbitrary basis, even though no actual impropriety on the part of the judge has been shown. Yeah, and I mean, even if I didn't know the law, if I found out that the prosecution was meeting with a sworn witness without the defense, I'd be like, this doesn't look right. I don't even know the law like that. But I would just say, just from me seeing that, shouldn't there be two sides to this story? And how do we know what's happening here? And this seems like an unfair advantage on the prosecution side. Like if you get to look at the playbook of the other team and they don't get to see what your playbook looks like, then you have an unfair advantage. So even then, this is wild. Recusal on the grounds requires a rational basis for such questioning, not an arbitrary basis, even though no actual impropriety on the part of the judge has been shown. As seen in Exhibit A, Judge Glanville's impartiality under the definition has been satisfied. Further, the Code of Judicial Conduct mandates the judge step down from presiding over a case where the judge is likely to be real and essential witness, and where there is not substantially the same testimony available for another witness. Yeah, because Judge Glanville was the one in there telling Kayla what she could do and telling Lil Woody he was going to be fine unless he told a lie. Judge Glanville must leave Young Thug's case except when he is called to testify as a witness to explain under questioning his misconduct and bias before the jury. All right, there's still a lot to go through here. I know we went through a lot. Shout out to y'all. Y'all got to let me know what you think about this, man. I mean, Brian has provided so much information when it comes to why not only Judge Glanville should be removed, but why why Simone Hilton should be removed, why ADA Love should be removed as well. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. Is this officially the end? Is this just another piece that's going to be piled onto the disappointment pile of this trial, and Judge Glanville is going to get away with it? I would love to hear y'all's thoughts.